What is up, Watch fam? Happy Monday and welcome to Rant&h. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today we're going to be jumping into a new release from Tag Heuer and their collaboration with HODINKEE. All right, before we get started, two matters. First, wristwatch check. I am wearing my Cartier Santos Dumont, one of the most elegant and beautiful watches ever produced, in my very humble and tasteful opinion. Second, welcome to the new T&H studio. This is it. We painted, we put up shelves, things that mean something to me. I'll go through it. A beautiful Cartier book, one of my favorite books. I actually bought it off of eBay, and you guys know I'm not a big eBay fan, but that book was from eBay. I highly recommend you buy it. A T&H Sub hat, 13 months, the story of the Empire State Building and its construction. My great-grandfather was the last living person who had worked on the Empire State Building. That book means a lot to me. USA, my grandpa, Rolex, Creare, which is our motto here at T&H. Our editor, Anna, put that together for me and for the office. It's all about doing. You know, it's not about thinking. Creativity isn't about thinking and imagining. It's about actually building something. I think that we embody that pretty damn well here at T&H. Further, I drank that when I got into college. That's my grandpa's wrench, T&H hat, Gary Vaynerchuk, the bottle of wine my dad bought when I was born, and my first pair of sneakers. So this is a really cool thing. There's more stuff to come, but this is the bare bones. These are the bare bones as of now. So let's get into our topic. HODINKEE. Okay, so HODINKEE's been doing collaborations for a long time. They kind of a long history and evolution of their collaborations. I don't remember which one was first, but in the beginning they were doing ties with Drakes, which wasn't really, it didn't really make any sense. They were nice ties, but why did they make them? You know, I think that there wasn't really a correlation between a watch blog and a haberdasher. It didn't really make too much sense. Plus, there wasn't a narrative to bridge the gap, but that's all in the past. Since they've made pocket squares, they've made watch straps, of course. They've done tons of stuff, and most recently, their new thing has been literally making watches. HODINKEE is, if not one of the most influential watch blogs in the world. Many, watch idiot savant WIS have problems with HODINKEE, rightfully so. In a lot of times, but still they are a mass market publication that does do the watch industry a pretty great deal of service. Their first wristwatch collaboration was, I believe, with MB&F, Max Busser and friends, and it was a legacy machine with a brown dial. And since the MB&F, they've done quite a few collaborations with Nomos, with Zenith, with Vacheron Constantin, with Resins, with Mark Newson. They made an hourglass for like $12,000, which to me boggles my mind, but I guess to each their own. Bottom line is HODINKEE's done a lot of collaborations, and I'm not a fan of many of them. For example, although I love Nomos, and I thought that their Nomos collaboration, yielded a good watch, I didn't think that it was enough. I didn't think that the chronometer papers on the watch really added much at all. To me, when two companies are going to collaborate, the bar for what is acceptable is raised, because now you have two separate entities accepting the challenge to make something that merges their worlds and something that is better than the ordinary. That's the whole idea behind the whole thing, and I think that Nomos was fully capable of producing the watch that HODINKEE made with them, and I just didn't think it was very interesting. On the contrary, the Vacheron Constantin HODINKEE collaboration was incredible, and this is an amazing watch. A Corne de Vache with a gray dial and a stainless steel case, I believe. I mean, this was a top tier watch. After that, there was the Resins collaboration, which to me was just awful. I hated it with a passion. I am a fan of skeleton watches. I gave a great big thumbs up to the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak with a skeleton dial just 2 weeks ago in a video about my 4 favorite watches over $40,000, which Anna, please put a link down below. Check that video out after you watch this. But I'm a big fan of it. But for this watch, the aesthetic was totally thrown off. I mean, correct me if you disagree or challenge me, but doesn't it kind of like freak you out? Like it reminds me of like lotus flowers. I was very grossed out by this watch. Something I certainly would never wear, and I would be I'm just creeped out by it. I don't know, maybe it's just like a weird thing that I have going, but I didn't like it at all. But that all brings us here To the actual topic at hand, and I'm glad I gave a little context on HODINKEE's collaborations, but now let's talk about the Heuer Skipper. Okay, so what is the Skipper? It's one of the most famous, desirable, rare chronographs ever, and it's by Heuer. It was manufactured in 1967 to commemorate Emil Mosenbacher's victory on the yacht Intrepid at the America's Cup. That is straight from the HODINKEE website, and it's simple, straight to the point. It's the truth. This was a commemoration watch. It was the reference 7754, and since it has become one of the most desirable watches in the world, I am not an enormous Heuer fan. I think Heuer is terrific. I think there's a lot of history and significance that is matched by, build quality and, just respect. They deserve respect, but they don't really get me going, but this watch does. And honestly, put all of the significance aside, I think it's beautiful. I think this is one of the most interesting, beautiful chronographs of all time. I've seen a couple on Instagram, not very often, but I have seen a few. The blue, the green, the reddish orange, everything together to me just makes a drop-dead gorgeous watch. And for their newest collaboration, HODINKEE decided to reinvent it, to bring it back, but in their own way. And before I jump into why they did it or what exactly I think about this watch, HODINKEE did an incredible job. I genuinely believe that. You guys, if you do follow Theo and Harris, you know that I'm very, very critical of anyone, of all companies. I'm just a critical guy. I think that when you're playing with the big boys, people are going to be watching and commenting. And I think that HODINKEE has done a bunch of stupid shit over the course of the last 3 years. Not everything, of course, many things have been terrific. There have been some amazing articles, but still, HODINKEE has really turned me off. But this collaboration to me was top-notch. How did it happen? One, at HODINKEE's core is a vintage, watch-loving community. Ben Clymer, their founder, is a vintage watch addict. He, of course, as a vintage watch lover, knows about the allure and the desire behind the Heuer Skipper. So HODINKEE's core of vintage appreciation matched with Tag Heuer, which is now under the control of Jean-Claude Beaver, someone who is very, very willing and very ambitious in becoming relevant and becoming, good again. Jean-Claude Beaver has taken the task of turning Tag Heuer from a brand that has definitely fallen from popularity back into main stride popularity, back to what Heuer really should be. So between Ben and the HODINKEE team core appreciation for vintage watches, paired with Jean-Claude Beaver's willingness to become a great watchmaker or company again, it's the appreciation and the willingness to execute that made this happen. So now let's jump into the watch itself and why I'm so glad it did happen. Okay, so right off the bat, have a look. As you can obviously tell, side by side, the new HODINKEE Heuer Skipper is very closely related to the original Skipper. The most obvious giveaway is the color configuration. There is no other watch, certainly no other famous watch in the world with this configuration, and HODINKEE and Heuer stayed very true to that original design, and I really do appreciate their respect for those very, very unique colors. Moving beyond their extremely well executed play on the classic Skipper colors, they maintain that Carrera case. They went from 36mm to 39mm, which I have no problem with at all. It welcomes the watch into modernity a little bit, but that classic cut case, it's not at home at any watch but the Carrera. That is the Carrera case, although maybe not iconic or as well known or recognized as the Speedmaster case. It is equally unique to the Carrera as the Speedmaster case is to the Speedmaster. Particularly in collector circles, one of the most appreciated designs, even beyond the dial, of all time. But now where I think HODINKEE really hit the home run, where I have to give them, massive applause, is in their mission to what they call draw from inspiration, not imitation. And I have to give them props for that. They didn't just do a reissue. They didn't just say, that was a watch that existed, let's famous now, we know it, as a Monday morning quarterback, we know it's a win, let's just recreate it and market the out of it and win. They didn't just do that. And if they did, that wouldn't be a bad thing. I probably would have criticized it a little bit, but it wouldn't have been a bad thing. Still, they went way further. They made this watch a mesh between the original Skipper and the original Heuer Dado 45, another extremely rare collector's item. Now the main difference here in the configuration beyond the colors between the new HODINKEE Skipper and the original Heuer Dado 45 is the placement of the date window. On the original Dado 45, the date window was by 9, whereas here it's by 3. It's a superficial difference. Most people, funnily enough, didn't even recognize it but still it is a little bit of a difference. So from the appropriate Carrera case in 39 millimeters of steel, to the classic Skipper colors and the Dado 45 infusion and kind of clashing or complementing, colliding, whatever you want to call it, I've got to say they hit it out of the park. I mean, at $6,000 was the price. I mean, would I have pulled the trigger? No, I wouldn't have. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they didn't do a great job. They did a terrific job. A watch that I think, and they made 125 examples. This watch to me has 100% the opportunity to be a true collector's item one day. And that is very impressive. I mean, do I think that they will eventually drop from $6,000? Yeah. I think that these watches will end up being actualized at about $4,000 in the secondhand market. But still, I mean, at $4 grand, I feel like it's the kind of watch that someone's gonna pick up in a heartbeat, whether they know about HODINKEE or not. Because it truly is a watch with not only great heritage in Heuer, but with a great narrative, with a great modern story to be told about two teams working to share and express their tremendous appreciation for one of the most famous watch brands of all time. So HODINKEE, I know I don't say this often, but good fucking job. You killed it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Rant&h. If you like this video, do not forget to subscribe down below and stay tuned for tomorrow's In the Metal, where I jump into these 6 awesome vintage watches. To become a great company again, this watch happened. Oh, holy sh! Did it crack you? Did you get cracked?
No, it got this.
Holy crap.
I could have died.
You could have been really hurt.
It got my head a little bit.
But it's not bad?
Not at all.
Crazy. That's on camera. They saved you?
Saved me.